talk nerdy to me.
Imperious one. Been to Comic-Con, hope you speak my language. Your Harley Quinn don't need explaining.
Welcome to Talk Nerdy to Me, a talk show about comic books, comic book TV shows, comic book movies. Feel like Bubba Gump here. Lots to do with comic books. We're going to cover it. I'm Jack Lutz, disc jockey, actor, host of comic book conventions, and with me here, it's his idea for the show. His idea. Comic book shop owner, Troy Stegner. Troy, how's it going, man?
Not bad. I didn't have to twist your arm too hard, though.
I know, right? So
Right.
we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on, you know, the comic conventions and everything like that. And so if this is your first time tuning in, this is our first time too. This is actually our second show.
This is a tribute.
Because the first time when we were here, man, we were gung-ho about it, too. And we were a little tight, you know. Whenever you're doing something for the first time with anything, you're going to be a little tight. But it was an awesome, great show.
Yeah, we knocked it out of the park.
But then, it just didn't go.
So hot, we burned the machine up.
Something happened. So this is going, like you said, a tribute to the show.
To the greatest show in the world.
And so tell people like who you are and what you do here in Las Cruces.
Troy Stegner, I own Zia Comics on 1300 El Paseo. We also run Las Cruces Comic-Con. We just purchased El Paso Comic-Con. That'll be happening in April next year. Las Cruces Comic-Con is September this year, 11th through 13th. Trying to bring in some really good guests. We have Adam West, Tiny Lister. Working on getting some really good artists in. It's going to be fun for everyone, all ages.
And we have something specific coming in to the Las Cruces Comic Convention that no other convention is going to have.
I think it's going to be an exclusive, I'm sure.
It's going to be
I've never seen it anywhere.
Right. We've got the stamp. If anybody else says that they have it, they're lying. Straight up lying. So with that said, where do you want to start? We start off with the comic books. We can do TV shows. We can do movies. I like comic books. I like
comic books. You like comic books?
I like comic books. I like to talk about them. We've got our bag o' goodies. What is inside the bag o' goodies? No one knows until we bring it out.
We can start with Secret Wars.
Look at that. Look at that cover. That Alex Ross, gorgeous cover. Let me move my protein shake and my water and my little Batman Pez dispenser. So, okay, you got the big two duking it out right now. DC Comics, Marvel Comics right now, the basis of the show here so far. As the show progresses, we'll talk more about the third parties, you know, Image and Valiant so far and so forth. But right now, these are the two hot titles right now. Secret Wars, Convergence. Right now, Secret Wars just came out, Troy.
Right. Started Free Comic Book Day was issue 0. They kicked it off on Free Comic Book Day.
I got to ask you, how did Free Comic Book Day go for you?
It was even better than last year's.
Yeah.
It was excellent.
A lot of people show up, man. I mean, that's how they get started. A lot of people, that's how they get started reading into comics.
That's where you hook them.
Right. Free comics right there.
And the Free Comic Book Day comics are actually getting better. They're tying those into the actual storylines now instead of it just being a free comic that has nothing to do with the title like they used to in the beginning. These they're now like Marvel did. Secret Wars 0 actually kicked off the whole event that's changing the whole Marvel universe.
And Free Comic Book Day, real quick, at your store is always, and nationwide, is
first Saturday in May every year.
So next, you missed it, you got to wait a year now. So this is the storyline that kicked everything off here. Secret Wars, the end-all, be-all. This is like, you've got two worlds coming together, colliding. You've got, the Ultimate Universe, Marvel's Ultimate.
Yeah, all Marvel's universes are it led into it with Avengers and New Avengers. They tried to prevent the other worlds from colliding. The Fantastic Four did. Didn't work. So now they're colliding, and all this overlap is causing both universes to be present at the same time in a battle world type area. So you're going to have Marvel Universe will actually be aware of the regular Ultimate Universe, and
it's basically answering a lot of questions that I've been asking for a long time. Like, will the Ultimate Universe collide with the regular Marvel Universe? And so you kind of got the hint that this was going to happen here, and it really, it's a real hooker so far. It hooks you real well in the beginning. What with Doctor Doom showing up, the acknowledging of a higher being so far, and it did a really good job of getting a hold of you and putting you into the next. You already have issue number 2 here. Yeah, look at that. I just realized that.
It comes out actually tomorrow. You're seeing it before everybody else in the public.
Before it's going to happen.
You guys aren't. You are.
We are, if that makes any sense whatsoever in this paradox shift. So I like it. I really like where they're going to go, and I'm really looking forward to where it's headed here. You see the cover here. You see all the Thors, and I'm really looking forward to how that's going to tie in. You've got Odin holding a Thor hammer. You've got Thunderstrike. You've got Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Is that original Thor that we're looking at on the cover?
I think it is.
Have you read it? Have you read it?
I haven't
yet?
read number 2 yet, no.
Oh, man. See?
I just came straight from the store and grabbed this off the shelf. Yeah.
Man. So my hands are getting clammy now. Now I want to know what's going to happen. When this show gets off the air, I'm going to have to read that. But basically, that's the gist of it here. And again, it's a real great tie-in to all the worlds, and hopefully we're going to get a nice little...
A unified timeline, yeah, instead of having all these alternate universes.
And that has a little something to do with our other book here, but more difficult to read. Way more difficult to read. So Convergence, what did we just describe with Secret Wars? It's almost the same thing.
Yeah, they've been known to copy each other a lot.
Yeah.
And
Marvel and DC.
Yeah, they're slightly different, but they're
Identity
merging
Crisis, Identity Disc.
Yeah.
Sure.
They're merging their timelines also on Convergence.
Which I think they should have done a long time ago with the New 52. If you notice now, DC doesn't have the New 52 title anymore. What happened a couple of years ago was that DC had the bright idea to revamp all of their characters, starting with Flashpoint, which you can check out on DVD. Great little cartoon there, and jump-started their universe again. It's a very polarizing...
yeah, to say the least. New 52, I don't think there's any gray area. You either loved it or you didn't care for it at all.
As a comic book store reader, owner, how do you see the sales going since DC did this with the New 52?
Oh, with New 52,
and then going into now.
With New 52, it was depending on a lot of it was character. How popular was the character?
Yeah.
With Convergence, I'm seeing that people are starting to come back to it because they don't want all these different alternate universes. It's just too much to follow. Yeah. They want this one single timeline with all their characters.
And that's what you're kind of getting here. You're into issue number 6. If you're behind a little bit, Brainiac decided to bottle up all the cities, and there's now going to be a battle between every single world, every single timeline.
Right.
Again, to have one unified timeline, just like the other comic book that we were showing here. So, but this one, it's a little harder to read. We're 6 issues in, and I haven't seen any duking it out. I haven't seen any chingazos thrown. I didn't say that right? Yeah.
There's a lot of tie-ins to this too. Every character has a two-issue Convergence tie-in.
You walk into your store and you see Convergence everywhere. So many titles, so many old titles. Some that you remember from the 90s,
right?
The late 90s, the early 2000s that have come back now, and it shows what has been happening in that timeline since the New 52's been happening here.
Right.
So, but here, I don't even know where to begin. We haven't even seen any battles yet.
No, not yet. They're building up to it. The Convergence is only going to have 8 issues, so there's only 2 more after this, and it's a weekly. So they're building up to a point at issue 8 is going to go from Convergence to Divergence, and maybe that's where they're saving all the battles.
Then we'll have Insurgents, and then
condolences.
Insurance after all the money that we've been spending. I think that DC's kind of been fumbling the ball here. What about you?
I thought I loved Flashpoint.
Sure,
I thought Flashpoint was a great story. I don't like where they went with the New 52 after that, and I'm thinking this is just a big Band-Aid they're going to throw onto.
Rip it off.
Yeah, to fix everything.
But I can't stop reading it, though, because I want to know the end result.
Right.
And that's the comic fan in me. So, again...
You get attached to the characters, and you want to know what happens to them.
You really do. You're looking at the cover, and you want to know what the heck is going on, because you have Azad there. You got Captain Marvel, Shazam,
Gorilla Grodd.
Gorilla Grodd. You got Ultraman, who is an evil Superman.
Right.
You got Aquaman back here too, and what's going on? Why are they together? So now I want to read that. That one too. That hasn't even come out yet, right?
No, this one also comes out tomorrow.
Oh, you're killing me. See, I'm reading that now, and you're going to get more money from me.
I hope so.
But those are our picks right now. The big 2 are battling out here with Convergence and Secret Wars. So 2 big titles, 2 very, very hot titles there, and other big sellers right now in your store. So many to choose from.
Image is really doing well.
Yeah.
They're not superhero based; they're more storyline based. You know, you always got your Saga and your Walking Dead that people like.
And Spawn now is getting really popular
Spawn,
again.
they brought Al Simmons back on Spawn at issue 250.
All right.
That one's starting to pick up now.
Notice the number that this is, okay, number 6. You see a lot of this with comics nowadays, too. So many jump starts, so many revamps, right?
Right. They'd love to do issue 1s, always sell. So they love to do issue 1s.
And you even said that we'll never see an issue.
I don't think you'll never ever see another issue 300.
I'm inclined to agree with that because they know that if they restart something, it's going to be a moneymaker. You know,
Right.
What with going into now the TV shows, going into the movies and stuff that we'll touch up on later. You notice that whenever comics kill off a character, they bring them back. Whenever there's a movie that's going to be involved with them,
Right.
and then you have an issue 1. They did that with Spider-Man. Remember when that came out?
Right.
So you rolled your eyes. You rolled your eyes. See, they did it with Captain America too.
Yes.
They did that also.
Yeah,
You know,
the only person ever stayed dead in comics is Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben, Marvel.
And Marvel.
Marvel, right? If they don't go back in time, if he doesn't show up, and
Yeah. Right.
I'm going to get an aneurysm here just talking about that stuff too. But we were talking about the big two, Marvel and DC, but also you mentioned Image. We talked about Valiant. Valiant's going to be heating up also.
Valiant is going to be. They just signed a 5-movie deal with Sony, so you're going to be introduced to some Valiant characters that the general public is not aware of. They really good characters, good storylines. They're all intermeshed.
Valiant was always that third, fourth party comic book that you see in the ads of a comic book here.
Yeah.
Remember the old days how you would see just ads, stuff that you could order in a comic book. You cut
Sea
the page
Monkeys,
up.
X-ray
Right.
Specs. Yeah.
You cut that out, and then you would see this gritty book, Valiant Comics. You're like, what is that about? And so now the public is going to be aware. They're going to be able to
Yes.
find out now, which I think is really good because comics, movies now, they're just so part of our pop culture.
Yeah, and just introduce them to these new characters who aren't Marvel or DC
Right.
will be good too. Because, like I said, these independent guys like Valiant Image, they have good books and good storylines. Just general public is not aware of them.
Right. And I think it takes something like, okay, a TV show, a movie, suddenly to
Well, look at
jumpstart.
Walking Dead.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It's been out for it's been a comic for 10 years. The show's been out 4 or 5.
Something like that.
So it was out for 5 years before the TV show came out.
So how many people do you have coming in that you would never expect? That's the beauty of it too. You have people that come into your shop that you would never expect to be comic book readers because that's really changed a lot now. Remember how a comic book store used to be the dingy, it almost felt like a dungeon.
Somebody's basement, no
Right.
lights.
Yeah, it felt not. I hate to compare it like this, but it was like a hipster coffee shop where you never felt like you were cool enough to go in. But now, everybody's welcome to go into this thing.
We have teachers, military.
Yeah. It's cool to love
yeah.
comics. It really, really is.
There's no stigma attached to it anymore.
Yeah, and you see people come in and they're curious about what's new, what's with the TV show. I mean, that's going to sell right away.
Right. Yeah. TVs and movies also
Right,
help
right.
a lot. How many people knew about the Avengers before the movies came out?
You know what I like too? Going back to Secret Wars, for anybody that's been watching a lot of the Marvel films, they incorporate. Let's bring that one back out real quick. Let's put the two head to head together. I like that they put the Guardians of the Galaxy. The Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what Marvel's really good. They got a pulse on what's popular.
That's another one nobody knew who they were before
Right.
the movie.
So and they're in it too now.
Yes.
And Marvel really has a pulse on what's popular, what's really hot with the fans, and so they've added the Guardians of the Galaxy into the Secret Wars, and you get to it's straight out of the movie, from the movie into the comic book, and so now you see what's popular in comics now being incorporated into the books when it used to be the other way around.
Right. Marvel's doing real good incorporating their TV shows with their movies and with their comics. The timelines are really tight.
Oh yeah, and that's the key to their success right now. So for those of you just tuning in right now, this is Talk Nerdy to Me. I'm Jack Lutz here with Troy Stegner. We're talking about the big two duking it out, DC and Marvel. What's hot with their comic book world? What's hot with their movies? What's hot with their film? And we're going to be seeing a lot of this cool stuff at your convention, and we're going to talk more about that right after this.
Hello, welcome back to Talk Nerdy to Me. I'm Troy Stegner. I'm here with my co-host Jack Lutz, and we're going to talk to you. We talked a little bit about Secret Wars and Convergence in the first half. We're going to start talking about TV shows and movie tie-ins this half.
Cool. And what it has to do with you guys and our conventions coming up, and how we're going to tie that into the city of Las Cruces. Yeah. Where do you want to start off with? I saw that you pulled out the Flash hat.
Let's start with TV shows.
Yeah.
Flash, the big one. Who doesn't like Flash?
That's so good.
That show is so well written
Yeah.
and acted. It's amazing.
A great staple for the CW, along with Arrow, and a great tie-in for both TV shows to come in together.
Yeah.
That's what we really wanted to see.
And they do a lot of crossovers with these two shows.
They gave that to us too. So the Flash, of course, it talks about Barry Allen, how he got his powers. The Flash started on the show The Arrow, and then he eventually got his own spin-off show. It's been a great success so far. We found out finally who the main villain is, and if you haven't seen that yet, we don't want to spoil that for you yet.
And they brought out a lot of the rogues gallery already.
I think he's got the best. Villains. It took down my protein shake, man. They took it down. I think he's got the best. They call it the Rogues Gallery.
Yeah, before Batman had it, it was Flash's Rogues Gallery.
It's the best. And there's so many that I want to see. Who do you want to see? We saw Grodd.
I wanted to see Grodd was the big one.
Yeah.
He's the most popular Flash villain.
Yeah.
And who doesn't like a sentient ape that can control your mind?
Yeah. Intelligently.
Yes.
I want to see. Okay, we got to see the Reverse Flash, Zoom.
Captain Cold.
Yeah, I really want to see Mirror Master.
He should be coming.
Yeah.
Pied Piper was there. Yeah.
So many great effects that you can do. You got Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah, the Trickster.
The Trickster reprised his original role from the old Flash TV series there. So that's a great nod. And of course, Barry Allen's dad,
John Wesley Shipp.
There you go, the original Flash.
Original Flash in the '90s one, yes.
I was going to ask you too. You think you could get him for a con? I'm putting you on the spot right now. You think you can get him?
I hadn't thought about it, but we might be able to. I think we're booked on celebrities for Cruces, but
that's the best answer ever.
El Paso's right around the corner in April,
my gosh.
so we may be able to get him for El Paso.
Great stuff there. So that's definitely a TV show to keep track of.
Right.
Flash on CW.
Yeah, and Arrow has been kind of steady. Flash has just been straight meteoric rise, but Arrow has just been kind of steady, good storytelling.
We were talking off air about a recently canceled TV show.
Breaks my heart.
Yeah. Constantine. And you told me something that I didn't even know about, that this could be a possibility.
You're right. There's rumors. The cast of Arrow, Stephen Amell, and the guys on Flash, they all said, we would love to do crossovers into Constantine. So now they're looking at maybe bringing it back, maybe under CW's umbrella.
And those possibilities there, you could do a Justice League Dark. You could do so many.
Zatanna, Deadman.
Right.
Oh, yeah, it's.
The best thing is about DC is that all their heroes are all under one umbrella. It's all under one house. And they're barely figuring out how to play with their toys. They're barely figuring out how to display everything. With Marvel, everything's tied up. With Fox, Sony, their own house here too. So that when you have TV shows and you got movies, you're not going to see certain characters because they're tied up with another film company.
Or even certain words.
Right, so certain words.
You can't even say mutants.
You can't say mutants. Oh my gosh.
That's why on all the Marvel stuff, they're switching over to using Inhumans.
Mm-hmm. Which they're going to bring out eventually, the Inhumans. Yes. Yeah. So that's always been a big gripe that I've had, but really cool to see DC display all their toys. We're going to be seeing more TV stuff. I think DC now has really taken control of the TV aspect, where Marvel now has really controlled the film part.
Yeah, Marvel's got film down pat.
Yeah.
It'd be even better if they owned all their characters. It would be amazing.
With the exception of Daredevil, which is on Netflix. You got to catch up with that now. I mean, that's been pretty legit.
That was, I binge watched. I love Netflix putting it all out.
You binge watched it? Yeah.
Marathoned it, yeah.
How late were you staying up?
I watched it all one weekend. So I went to bed early. The sun was coming up Saturday. Yeah.
So you finished the whole thing?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of Mr. Fisk? Vincent D'Onofrio.
I had reservations in the beginning when they announced D'Onofrio was going to be Kingpin, because I only saw him in psychotic roles, Full Metal Jacket, The Cell, 13th Floor, things like that.
Yeah, great. 13th Floor was a great movie.
Yeah,
That's a
it
good
was.
drama.
It was, but I couldn't picture that character being Kingpin.
And you see the rise of his character.
Yeah.
You see how Daredevil, goes from Matt Murdock, this feeble attorney, and he transforms himself
D'Onofrio sold me on Kingpin.
right at the end too.
And when I saw they brought Stick in,
Oh yeah, in the
I knew it was
beginning.
legit. It's
the
good.
beginning when he trained him and taught him how to hone his powers and everything like
Right.
that too. That's another great TV show to keep track of. What else? You mentioned off-air Agent Carter.
Agent Carter actually got
Agents of
picked up for a
S.H.I.E.L.D..
second season. They will be making
That's
a second
good.
one. That wasn't the original
That was on the
plan.
chopping block, wasn't it? Was Carter or
That was going to be just like a lead-in for
Okay.
other stuff. So when that came out, I almost didn't watch it. I was like, oh, it's set in the 50s. It's how good could it be?
Did a good job.
It was excellent.
Yeah.
You see the origins of the Black Widow program
Yeah.
in there. Plus, you see Tony Stark's dad, Jarvis, the guy. If you watch the Ultron movie, the guy who becomes Vision,
You know who Jarvis is now? Yeah.
same actor.
Great lead in now to movies that are coming out. Again, you've got the big ones here. You got Batman, Superman. You've got further down the line. I mean, Marvel and DC have just listed every movie.
Marvel's leading up to Civil War, so you're going to
Civil
see Black Panther. It's going to be a big one. He hasn't had a lot of screen time lately.
Right after Avengers: Age of Ultron, it really led you into Civil War, which
Right.
Civil War basically is going to have superheroes colliding against each other.
Right.
Going against each
over
other.
the mutant registry.
Right. In the comics, the Mutant Registration Act happened when there was a mass tragedy at a school, and so all superheroes had to register their identity. They had to reveal who they were. So certain superheroes were on one side of the registration. Okay, let's reveal ourselves. Others, no, it's not, because we had got to protect our families, and so that became a
Right.
huge battle. So I think we're going to see something like that. But again, a big gripe that I have is that who's a big part of Civil War? The X-Men were. And you're not going to, I don't think you're going to see that.
I don't
calling
remember seeing an X-Men movie. I don't think they have the film rights for that. But
Right.
I don't remember seeing that on the timeline anywhere for an X-Men movie.
You don't see that
In
at
that-
all with Marvel.
No.
So on the opposite side, you have DC, who now, right away, 2 movies into it, they're pulling out all their guns, Troy. All their guns.
Yes. Well, with Batman and Superman, the Dawn of Justice, you're going to see
The Justice League, the entire Justice
you're
League
seeing
in the movie.
Superman, Batman in the title. Aquaman is supposed to make an appearance. Wonder Woman, and those
Lex
are just the
Luthor.
ones. Yeah, those are just the ones they've announced. So
Yeah.
they're building toward the Justice League.
Can
Definitely.
you just imagine the Easter eggs that are going to be thrown in that movie?
Yeah, it's going to be
But
crazy.
Troy, what a big problem that I have with this is that it's too dark. When I saw Man of Steel, I thought it was way too dark. He's supposed
Yeah.
to be, lighthearted, light.
Boy Scout.
Boy Scout. No, not like another Batman.
Yeah, they saw the
film.
success Batman had
Yeah.
going dark, so they
Tried to do it with Green Lantern, made it too light. That
Yeah.
flopped, and so now they want to bring it back to the gritty stuff, which I'm iffy on that. So,
it's going to be a totally different Green Lantern. So I think it's going to be Jon Stewart in
really,
this movie. Yeah.
okay, and I'm okay with that too. I'm okay. I'd like to see Hal Jordan. I'd like to see Jon Stewart. I'd like to see Alan Scott. But
Guy Gardner's my Lantern.
He's usually
I
boy.
gotta-
Yeah.
I got to see Guy Gardner.
And so we got those films coming up. We're really looking forward to that. Let's talk real quick about the convention. You mentioned Las Cruces Comic Con and EpCon. I know we got very little time left.
Las Cruces Comic Con, September 11th through 13th. Like I said, we already have under contract Adam West. The 66 Batmobile will be there.
Oh man,
Tiny Lister,
Zeus.
Debo. If you watched Friday, great actor. He was actually a Klingon also in one of the shows. We're gonna have we got some cosplay girls just like last year. They were very popular.
Great.
We're
You
working
still have
on
me
a couple
hosting,
artists.
right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So far, okay, good.
Yeah, that's coming up September 11th through 13th.
And you took over EpCon, El Paso Comic Con.
We bought El Paso Comic Con. We're trying to rebuild the name on that one.
That's been a
That
journey.
will be, a lot of burnt bridges we have to repair from the previous owner. We got it. We're going to be in the El Paso Convention Center. The city of El Paso is behind it. They really want to push it. They want to turn it into a 1-week con, taking up the whole convention center. So we're working toward that. I think we can achieve that in a couple of years.
So they want to get a hold of you. How can they do that?
on the website at ziacomics.com. You can email me, ziacomics@gmail.com, or always you can call me 575-405-0461.
So be sure to stop by Zia Comics. Be sure to listen to 101 Gold. Be sure to...
In the morning.
Hey, all the time. Be sure to keep track of your comics. Be sure to keep track of your TV shows. So this has been a good tribute to the best episode ever filmed.
Yes, this was good, but it doesn't hold a candle to that first one.
It doesn't. I'm sitting here going, oh, please, I hope that the DVD burner doesn't blow up and explode here, too.
Yeah.
Because we're filming this right now at 6 o'clock. We came in originally, early in the morning.
Yeah, right.
And I am so tired right now. I usually wake up at 4 a.m.
Right. If you don't think this is the greatest show in the world, that's because we had to tone it down so we don't burn up another machine. This was Talk Nerdy to you. Talk Nerdy to me.
To you, to me.
To me, to us. I'm Troy Stegner, my co-host Jack Lutz, and we hope to see you on the next show. Did I miss it?
Talk nerdy to me. It's a Comic-Con, hope you speak my language. Your Harley Quinn don't need explaining. All I really need for you to do is just please talk nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me.